Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
Greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And man, it is that time to talk about the upcoming football season. Continue kind of going on. And if you've been following along, this is where I'm going to talk about homecoming week. So I'm going to give y'all kind of the tricks of the trade. I'm going to give you my cigar shop to go to. So I kind of owe this to them because last time I went there, I had a cigar. My cousin suggested it. It was too strong. He didn't really understand that I'm not a big cigar smoker. And yeah, everything I had earlier just kind of like, but also I'm gonna give you my restaurants to go to. I'm gonna give you one for Midtown. I'm gonna give you two for downtown. And I'm gonna tell you the spot I'm going to on the north side is a chain restaurant, even though like I'm going to another spot. I'm going to like 3 spots on the north side that weekend. Um, but I'm gonna give y'all some of the tricks of the trade this year. Just kind of if you stand in Midtown, where to go, and some other places you're gonna try out. Like y'all gonna go to little spots downtown and on the south side. Those spots gonna be on swole. But these spots, nah. um, Anyways, big shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home and home to Herb Seward, the Black Techies. Also, obviously, home to the Things Up podcast. And if you're not familiar, man, we did talk about the little FAMU basketball coach. We did an instant reaction and like a not so instant reaction just because that was like me. Normal instant reaction is either like right after or me kind of half cocked. But after going and everything like that, and we got a women's basketball coach, and I wish her the best. I kind of feel like that scene in Blazing Saddles, and we have a new black sheriff. You're on your own. Like kind of the vibe I got. And Blazing Saddles is my favorite movie. It's not the movie to watch for children around the TV version, but yeah. That's kind of how I feel. Like she has a lot of energy. She seems very enthusiastic about the product. And another Tennessee volunteer is the head basketball coach who's doing this for the first time at FAMU. And I'd be honest, I think it would be great if she did talk to Coach Willow and hey, pick her brains. What worked, what didn't work, see what transitions and translates from the University of Tennessee that you can bring to Florida A&M University. I think that's a great idea. My opinion, my 2 cents. My fear is that we're doing this in a few years, but we got a Florida girl, and that means something. I don't know what it means right now for this program, but it's going to mean something. But that week of homecoming, that's the week we're talking about. Alexa was trying to call, I didn't call her. Um, but yeah, yeah. Get your Bengay ready. Get your Tiger Balm. Some of you got that shuffling, shaking and moving, and you ain't did nothing in 6 months. I'm just trying to get your fine right for homecoming starting. And I'll be honest, look, I've been slacking. I got a little golf tournament coming in a few weeks. I'll be riding my bike in the morning, tomorrow morning, and a couple of these mornings, just to kind of because midday here in Florida ain't it. We went to walk to Starbucks today, and it started lightning. It's like, whew, oh, God is good because that heat wasn't about to take my soul. Not today. So look, if you're trying to get right for homecoming, start now. Don't wait. You got 3 months to get your stuff together. I suggest you start now. But yeah, Bengay, Tiger Balm, all that, whatever you're gonna use. Anyone that want to sponsor, jump on. But you gonna probably need some of that, especially if you're a teacher like me, because we get that Friday for homecoming off. So I'll get the last thing on Thursday. So we're gonna talk about the opponent is Prairie View A&M University out of Prairie View, Texas. Prairie View's north of Houston. Last year they had a 6-5 record, and offensively they had the third best offense in the SWAC. So expect the game to hopefully have some scoring. It's Prairie View, so you're gonna have a little bit of that out stuff going on, but You got a new running back too. They got the running back from Valley as a huge addition to the offense. Expect him to be a part of the offense. I'm just saying, I think it's gonna be a little more some of what you saw Dooley do may stick to what happened there last year. I think you're gonna see an offense that wants to run that spread offense, but that may lack the capability to do it. I really foresee them running the ball more so than throwing the ball, and that's just me being honest with you about that one. But last year, at first, I kind of looked at it and I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? It's not really fair if you just looking and saying like this about their team about who they scored against. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Their highest point totals were against Texas Southern, seventh in the conference defensively. Grambling, ninth in the conference defensively. Lamar, who had a 1-10 football team last year, seventh out of 8 teams in their conference. Cookman, who was dead last, and Arkansas Palm Bluff, who was right before Cookman. I love it. So, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, though. Like, as much as you can kinda sit up there and pick on, "Hey, their offense, you can discredit this and discount that because they do things against bad teams." That's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to beat the bad teams. So they did what they're supposed to do. FAMU, similar. They beat the bad team, and they scored most of their highest amounts of points against the worst teams. Kinda was like, "Okay, I can take that," but then again, I can't. Then when you look at the defensively, they're the best defense, so they're middle of the pack defense. And when you kinda watch the play last year, the defense doesn't jump out at you. It's really this is a game where I personally think FAMU could run the ball more if they wanted to, but I wouldn't sleep on the talent that they have there, especially in the secondary, because in the secondary, it's probably gonna be a lot more even than a lot of us think. It's just not one of those things where it's just very seldom are you gonna find corners in this conference that are just shutting people down. I mean, you had that at Jackson State. You you got a couple of those fans. You got at least 1, maybe 2. Outside of that, it's a lot more parity. There is a lot more parity in the conference athletically, and especially the secondary in football in general are where you're gonna see the most parity. Like, the players aren't so dissimilar from FBS to FCS, opposed to just, like, speed a lot of times, and sometimes you get those guys a little more instinctual, but you'll notice even when you look at the NFL draft, most times the guys from HBCUs that get picked up or drafted are skill positions. So, same thing here. So, now last year, Miami's offense, again, we picked on the worst teams. So this is gonna be a game where you're gonna come in there and everybody's coming for all the wrong reasons. Nobody's coming to watch football, except for me and, like, half the dudes at the game. Everybody else is coming in there for the party. Like, you coming in there because it's gonna be a whole week, and they're gonna drop the schedule out probably in the next month or so you can start getting your monies right of the events. There's gonna be definitely a comedy show, there's gonna be a step show. Hopefully, we get 2 concerts because look, what we're not gonna do at my almost 40-year-old self is be sitting up here watching Lil Baby or somebody else sit up there and shake his behind for 2 hours. I'm too old for that. Give me Ron Isley and somebody else that I can groove with, and he can, hit his well, and just sing with his cane, and all is good. But far as for me and myself, look, these new rappers, I ain't even with it. I just started on a rapper, Rufus Sims. And I that's my new rapper. That's my rapper for the next 3 months. Me and Rufus Sims are gonna be riding out. But this Lil Baby and Lil Durk and all them, I'm not there. That's not for me. So since that music is not for me, give me a concert that is for me, because I can promise you, you mess around and get New Edition up there for FAMU's homecoming, boy, whew, the old head is gonna show up. Look, it's gonna be a hurt. But it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be it's atmosphere. Homecoming is all about atmosphere. None of it's got anything to do with the game. So before we get to like who I think's gonna win, we gotta talk about the atmosphere. So obviously, I'm gonna tell y'all some of the restaurants. I'm gonna give y'all the tips. First things first, as a person who used to work at Clayman Plaza, I'm gonna say this right now. Don't sit up here and it's Sunday. So I'm gonna try to use my words right. Don't come up here crying when the Harry's line is 2 hours. You already know what it is. You know what it is when you got there. Many of y'all don't know where else to go but Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill. Don't playing when the line is 2 hours. Want to Harry's that bad, you should have went on Thursday. Just say. And you should have went for lunch because I think it's a cheaper price for lunch. So before we get started, start complaining about the Harry's line and the prices. You already know it is going to be what it's going to be. And it's one of your cousins going to rent out one of the spots near it and next to it. We'll have a party. It's you already know what it is when you get there. So downtown, now I'm gonna give you alternatives for downtown. Downtown, go for lunch. Hit up Goodies and Metro Day, especially that Friday. Friday is Pulled Chicken Friday. And I'm gonna come back and reiterate this one. But it's a local spot, good people. They're FSU fans, but they're cool. They like family too. Get get the pulled chicken sandwich. Get the cookies too. And I'm just saying, if you eat all the cookies before I get there, we're gonna fight. But I'm just letting you know, Pulled Chicken Friday, that's a thing. It is a thing. Every day they kind of have a theme. If pulled chicken ain't your thing, they got my favorite sandwich called the Bays. They're saying that's my thing. Yeah. Now Goodies is like a sandwich shop. They do everything well. They do nothing great, but everything is done well. Like the tuna sandwich tastes like your mama made it. Like it's everything's gonna taste like your mama or your auntie made it. It's solid though. Like spot to hit too. If you're going Midtown, I'm gonna give you Midtown. Like some of y'all gonna be looking at it left ways and sideways because it's a little dark right there. And it's just not excellently like the most well lit spot. The food's actually solid. Like Midtown Caboose, it's a local shop in Tallahassee. So again, and they stay open to about 10. So just saying that's it's a little further away from campus, but close enough to those downtown hotels, like Hotel Duval, where y'all will be trying to go to the club and party at anyway. Go to Midtown Caboose, some of those spots in that area, hit them up. And the cigar shop, I'm gonna give y'all Fuma on North Monroe. Spot's awesome. I believe it's black owned as well. I know some brothers used to manage it when I went. Really cool people, really chill spot. Not a crazy cigar smoker. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. But I will get a light cigar. You give me a dark cigar, it's gonna be sick. And that's what happened. I had a dark one, and I was trusting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, that was too strong. Yeah. So, but that's a great spot. Nice location. It's right there on Norfolk Road. Now, what I'm going to, I ain't gonna lie, I'm going to walk-ons. I'm going to walk-ons on the north side. Told y'all, homecoming week. I'm all pro south side, but that's the one time of the year I don't do nothing in their families. There's too many of y'all around there, and too many of y'all want service quick, fast, and hurry. I can wait for 5 minutes. So those my spots. I'm gonna give y'all those. You do with it what you want. Now, this game, the question's gonna be going back to the game. Gave y'all my restaurant picks, so you can write that down. 'Cause I told y'all I went and looked at last year. I gave y'all a place to hit up, a spots to eat at. We're going to the game. All right. So if you this part, you actually a fan. I did all that other stuff to get the people who just coming for homecoming. Come on. I give you what you want. Cool. You know what to do. You know where to go. That was on me. This game's gonna come down to the Family's offense versus their defense, essentially. Can we score? Right? Basics, right? That's common sense. But can you play a clean football game? And can you not get distracted? That's gonna be the biggest problems that are gonna relate to homecoming because you have college students and you have alumni and you have people that are in Greek fraternities and that are non-Greeks and friends. Everybody is coming to Tallahassee this week. And it's kind of the last big week before, football season is pretty much done with in the city as far as with FAMU, the distractions. And this is the one week, honestly, where if it's in the budget, man, I'm with you on the Team Florida State thing. Find a hotel somewhere out of town in Georgia, book that for the night, and bust the team back because can FAMU manage the distractions? This homecoming is fairly and rarely about the level of competition across from you as much as it is the level of competition from the night before and then after. Are they focused? And that's gonna be the big thing because I feel like with Moose, you really not got a problem. It's homecoming, Moose's business. I mean, like, Moose is a business like guy. He's he's heady. Like even when you talk to him, a lot of stuff don't phase him. He's got that. If you're older, my generation, he's a very stereotypical California kid, like personality. when you meeting and talking to him, he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is cool. This is nice. All well and good," but, it doesn't seem like it phases him a lot, where some of the other guys, look, it's about to be lit, and that's gonna be the question. Can they remain focused? Offensively, can you focus on the plays? Can you not get distracted about thick 36 in the stands and not have turnovers? That's gonna be a big part of this game because what happens in homecomings is everything else becomes elevated. Everything else gets distracting. And in this is a game you should easily win against Prairie View. It's not because they suck or anything like that, because they do have an offense that can score. But the problem is that their offense isn't while they did score and they scored well against teams who weren't that good, they're coming into an environment that should be extremely hostile and that should be a bit of a culture shock. I mean, you look at their schedule and they do play teams that are violent, like that are decent, I should say that. But what they don't play is a lot of FAMUs, like just athletically. Get in population wise, you're not playing a lot of FAMU and homecoming atmosphere. That's not gonna be something they get a lot in their schedule. They get that at when they play Texas Southern, and that's the Grambling game. They're gonna get that. Otherwise, you're getting them in the middle. And the next game they got is against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Before that, they're playing Houston Christian, which I doubt their fans are really gonna travel to because not HBCU. Yeah, it's local, but it's just a rivalry. So the atmosphere of Bragg is gonna be important. It needs to have the party vibe to it just so you can give that culture shock to the opponent. Because for the home team, they're gonna get a little bit of that, but you need that culture shock for a team that's not used to playing this type of atmosphere. If you can do that, your offense is going to excel. That's part of how Miami jumped out in homecoming last year. Our offense, it was the atmosphere. The stadium was packed, and when the other team came in, you could see them kinda look around like, "Okay, this is different." Whereas, excuse me, this year, um, I don't know if that's gonna be something that you're gonna have every game, but that week in particular, that's gonna be huge. FAMU's got to provide that atmosphere. It's gotta provide that vibe. Forgive me for looking to my left, trying to pull up the schedule from last year. I forgot I'm coming for last year. I wanna say it was like, um, Pine Bluff, something like that. But ATU, less important than yeah, it was Pine Bluff last year. That wasn't an atmosphere or a venue that they were not used to brag. Like, that everything going on, it was distracting. It was very distracting. You could see them kinda looking around pregame like, "Okay," but you could tell it got to them, and what a lot of us don't realize is, yeah, they get here early, but before the game, the players are walking around and everything else, and they have no choice but to stay. This is a game where that you get advantage you get to take advantage of that. FAMU's offense is going to have to do that, score early, um, establish the run. That's gonna be a big thing because Prairie View did have a high-powered offense, and they got enough players coming back that are gonna be solid. I mean, and they got a big acquisition in the running game, so you're looking at their getting a running back who was a guy. Like, he was a solid dude for them last season. Well, not for them, but for, Valley last season. Known commodity. All of a sudden, you got that coming into an offense where last year and I pull up their passing stats, mm, 1,400 yards, not amazing, not enough. Rushing wise, though, they had 3 guys split and, oof, 600 yards apiece? Okay. Like, that's running back by committee, that's some decent level running, so this could be a game that could be a little bit of a slobber knocker, but FAMU's gotta be able to run stop short. Like, that's obvious, it's common sense, limit the turnovers, but also we have to make that one dimension. I mean, that's gonna be kinda obvious, but when I'm looking at a quarterback that's throwing for 1,400 yards in college, that's saying he's good, but he's not great. I think if FAMU can make them one dimensional and have them a team that's forced to throw the ball, that's where you're gonna find your ability to take over. I don't think that you allow them to run, it's not gonna be a good day. If Prairie View can run the ball and consistently run the ball, it's gonna be a long day at the office. Whereas if you make the one-dimensional, make them have to throw the ball, make it so that they're getting 2 yards of carry. That's not doing enough. Now they have to throw the ball. I think FAMU's secondary size and some of the player skills would finally give you the win. Defensively, again, one dimensional. Gotta make the one dimensional. Special teams, you gotta just make the kicks. Like, you gotta make your field goals, and you gotta make the punts happen. Like, it's one of those games where, as a coach, homecoming, I wanna get out of there fast. And it's not so I can shake my butt, but it's literally because I don't want my players in this atmosphere on this field when all of this is going on around them. I'm trying to make this game as short as possible. And I think with the homecoming game, it's gonna be a game where you see FAMU run the ball a lot. Like, it's that's just we could have the passing go there, but yeah, like last year, FAMU had 200 rushing yards homecoming. That might be our best game for the season. And if you were at the game, that game lasted that long. It was like, "Oh, it's over." That was quick. Like, I can't think of how many games maybe ran for over 200 yards as a total team, but yeah, just kinda already give you that idea. Get in, get a win, get out. And I don't think you see much difference from this. Hopefully, Prairie View leaves their fans at home, and it's a short game. FAMU's in, out, gets a win. I think FAMU wins, honestly. And I hate I'm hating it because I'm trying to find a game where I'm just like, "Well, they're gonna lose." Outside of the South Florida against it, but this is also a trap game. Like, this is a game where overconfidence can kill you. Now, I do think FAMU wins. I don't think it's a blowout because homecoming is almost never a blowout. Like, it's just I don't know what it is, but homecoming is never a blowout. I really think this game is going to be I'm going 24 to uh, I'm going 24-17. I think it's closer than it should be just because it's homecoming, and I think because it's Prairie View, like, the fact that they're kinda balanced, offensively, and the fact that they're gonna try to run the ball. They're definitely going to try to. And how well they can do it is gonna be the problem and the question. But I think this game, because of the timing, because this where it is in the season, it's gonna be closer. I think if it's not homecoming, I think FAMU can win this by 2 or 3 touchdowns, honestly. Like, let me say that. I think they can win either way by 2 or 3 touchdowns. I think they will win by at least 7. So I think 24-17 is a safe score because I could easily see this being a game where it's 24-10, we get sleepy and we get bored, and folks start pointing at their girlfriends in the stands, and next thing you know, 3 minutes left, they score, you kick, and it's like, "Oh, we escaped. We did." So I think it kinda goes that way. I think Prairie View is gonna be a team, though, within the next couple years, they gotta figure out if they could ever get an NIL thing going, they got what it takes to be one of the better programs in the conference for the Willie Bowl, and that's gonna be kinda funny. Like, I think the story of this game is Willie Simmons going against his former employer. Like, so which school that Willie Simmons worked at wins the game? I think that's gonna be a fun story. I think it's gonna be fun for the media to be able to talk about and ask questions about. I don't think Coach Simmons is gonna give you anything bulletin board worthy. I think he's gonna give you something that, it's kinda Willie answers he'll give you, like, those answers that it's an answer, but at the same point, it's like, come on, it's not that difficult type thing. I think you get that from him. I don't think you get that fire and brimstone stuff that you get when he's a little more agitated. I think you get the, "Hey, it's cool, we're gonna play the game." They line up, they strap up, all that kinda stuff. But I think that's a fun story. I think if you're someone like my brother Gerald for the Democrat, that's okay. Willie Simmons plays against his former team, what he did at, Prairie View, what he's done at FAMU, and maybe mention, like, some of the key people who came from that Prairie View time, like, Black now gone to the NFL. Talk about how assistants at both of his stops are transitioning to the NFL and doing other things in bigger places, and maybe see if you can make contact with some of those people, and maybe even see if you can talk to people like Dr. Cavill, who were like, "Hey, known him at Prairie View, now, you know." So kinda that I think those are some of the cool stories that you get out of that. Where is Musa at in the SWAC player of the year race at this point in the season? How is FAMU's offense compared to the previous year? Do we see differences in the running game? What's the win-loss record versus what was projected versus actuality at this point of the season? Because I think those at this point of the season started to get to that, all right, you gotta win all games type vibe. Like, and if you haven't won all of them, then it's the lamenting. Like, how did this happen? How did that happen? And what does this game and that game mean? I think by that point in the season, you started to get those fun conversations and we started to look to the end of football season. That's what I'm really looking for. So, um, again, homecoming, I got FAMU winning. I think it's 24-17. I think Prairie View scores late, and I feel like their offense is gonna maybe they could score first. I would not be surprised if they scored first and it's like, "Okay, shoot, little punch to the face, get your mind right in that moment." But I gave y'all my restaurants. I gave y'all my restaurants to go to. I also told you the places that, "Look, I don't wanna hear it." Um, if you're going at the Edison and you're complaining about the prices, I don't wanna hear it. You know it's kind of a new restaurant, it's right in that south side of town, it's gonna be packed. Some of y'all like to go and spend money at restaurants just to look cute, it's cool. I ain't one of them. Harry's is gonna be on Swole. Like, some of y'all don't know the other places but Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill, and you want their grits. I don't know why the hell you want their grits, trash, but a lot of the other food is good, I just don't like grits, and their Bengay is trash too, I ain't gonna lie. But, like, their seafood is solid, like, I can't take anything away from them. Never had any bad shrimp or, fish from them. I've all of that I've had from them has been even their chicken is solid, but they're great. But, downtown, though, I gave y'all a suggestion, Goodies and Metro Deli during the day. That's my go-to downtown. You wanna go to Shula's, that's on you. I ain't paying that kind of prices. But if you want something that's not far from downtown, go to Midtown. Literally just a few blocks up from downtown. A lot of stuff at night. I gave you my spot would be the Midtown Cruise. Been there. It's been a while since I've been there. I probably won't hit them up this time just 'cause I told you I don't really do much on anything past that, like, downtown area homecoming. I don't do it. Unless it's, like, maybe that Thursday night before some of y'all get in, Friday during the day, I do downtown. I probably hit campus on Friday and walk around, see the vendors, stuff like that during the day. At night, I'm not gonna do it. But I did give y'all a cigar shop. I'm not a crazy cigar guy. I partake if my friends are partaking, but, and it's only certain friends, pretty much. Um, but Fuma on Northland Road, that's the spot. Good people. Well, when I went, Good Brothers, I had a cigar that was actually too strong for me when I went. So, really solid spot. And a spot that I'm actually going to, Walk-Ons. I've never been to Walk-Ons Bistro, so Imma try it out. There's one where the TGI Fridays used to be on the north side of town, right across from, what is the name of the place? Outback. Across from the Outback. And the Ted's is solid too. Like, I just haven't been to Ted's, and I don't always like paying Ted's prices, but I'm probably gonna hit up Walk-Ons. My uncle was saying they were solid, and maybe a spot that we actually go to on Friday, just, try to catch up and let 'em talk and tell me about it. So, Kush is always a spot to hit though, like Bayou Rouge. Told y'all all the spots I'm hitting up homecoming week, not not doing too much of the South Side. $5 barbecue, I might hit them up, early on Friday. That'll be a lot. So, but yeah, man, ah, so gave y'all my spots, man. We gotta get ready. That is going to be the time and homecoming. We're gonna talk about Alabama game. Talk about that on Thursday. Also, kinda see what else is going on. FAMU hasn't named a bowling coach yet, which we just got a basketball coach, but somebody gotta say something about the bowling team. Like, you can't just let those girls hang out there. I know, they had to do some things different, had to kinda change some numbers or whatever so that we could get the bowling coach in there full time, but it's school starts in, like, 3 weeks, 2, 3 weeks, we still have a bowling coach. It's not cool for that student athletes. At a certain point, we gotta make sure we advocate for the student athletes. We can't always just hit up what's entertaining. We got to make sure that we're speaking. Hey, students need a coach. Like, let's not forget about it. They almost won the SWAC championship. Like, golf team just got new facilities. They almost won the SWAC championship. Gallimore Lanes is not brand new, but it's not old. Like, we have to make sure that we continue that to push for those things for those kids. Otherwise, it's only football and basketball that we care about. And so can't do that. But again, Thursday, we're gonna talk about the Alabama game, which last year was actually a good one. Like, that game was kinda early on. I was sweating a little bit. I was on the sideline. It was hot. That wasn't the only reason I was sweating. So we're gonna talk about that. And then, oof, look, man, look, we're gonna start getting to some of the other happenings about FAMU athletics. And hopefully we get some more excitement out there, man. But whew, fun times. Big shout out to HBCU Digital Network, though. This is home to Herb School of Black Techies. Check them out, man. Herb is a Alabama State University grad and a former band for the mighty Marching Hornets. Look, I have to make sure I said it right. And so check him out, man. He's also got his blog going on where he's talking about bands and band culture, trying to be the voice of the band heads. So be prepared for him and what he's got going on there. Also, man, HBCU is going to be sponsoring postseason classic that we got going on for college students. And man, we got a whole bunch of senior send-offs. So look, next week, you're in Broward County, and NAA, they got a little senior send-off that they're doing something for the students. Man, if you really care, drop something, $5, $10, something like that. Give those kids something. Like, don't send them up to the highest of Seven Hills empty-handed. I even saw good brother Bobby Swope up there. So he's cooked some ribs. I'm like, dang, all right. So up there in Atlanta, they were doing something to prepare the students for the highest of Seven Hills. Also, the most hype NAA branch, in my opinion, is in Tampa. They are having an event, HBCU Day Party. I love my HBCU Day Party. And Tampa Rattlers are hosting that, 7th Grove. Go check out their RSVP, their website, their Eventbrite. Go check them out, man. Look, they are lit over there. Good times being had. Also, again, Tampa chapter, Plant City chapter, having another send-off. It's that time of year. They're trying to send these students to college, send them a little something in their pockets, not just hopes and dreams, and not just financial aid package that includes loans. Another one, Marion County, they got a little scholarship send-off that they're doing as well. That's gonna be on the 12th. And the Rattler Booster Club got their fall sports kickoff. That's gonna be at the Lawson Center. They're gonna feed you. Now, 9 times out of 10, like, don't act funny. It's probably gonna be chicken and whatever else, but it is what it is. We all know what this is. It's but they're raising a lot of money. The funds that they are raising are going back to FAMU athletics. They are doing some things. So good things happening there. And the hotel list from the National Alumni Association is up. Check it out. Govern yourselves accordingly, especially if you're in Tampa. They got some things going on. We have to see if my band people know if the band is going to Tampa now. They have some packages going for the hotels as well as a seating package. And look, you got what, 2 days? 2 days. If you're in the Massachusetts area, you got Rattlers on the Vineyard. So got the website right there letting you know, like, good stuff coming up all over the diaspora, if you want to say that, of FAMU and FAMU athletics, and a lot of stuff to get ready for, man. So as we kind of get ready for this, we're gonna continue to talk about FAMU athletics and try to talk good about it. When it's bad, we gotta share that too. But when it's good, we're gonna jump on that and always share that with you. But until next time, it's always thanks.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?